Yes, we all have them. Here to help us is Jason Lee. Okay. Okay, this is from Jenna. Jenna tweeted, can you give me some advice on how to explain to my hairdresser what I'm looking for? I always go in hoping for the best, but I end up coming out with hair that I didn't ask for. We've all been there. How do I explain the hair that I actually really want?
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing because it's all about communication, right? It's like, how do you speak to your hairdresser? Hairdressers, we tend to be a very visual type of people.
Yes.
So I would always recommend bringing in some photos. I don't know if that's gauche or not, but I'm always happy when my client comes in and says, this is what I'm looking for, because I know it's their way of communicating. I think you just want to stay open to the professional's advice because there are certain things that you may not be able to achieve.
Right.
So that's something else to put on the table. But you want an open dialogue. And actually, if you're kind of concerned about you know, making sure that you don't rub the hairdresser the wrong way, bring in a picture from their Instagram, something that you like that they've done,
smart.
right? And then that way the hairdresser feels good about themselves and you have an honest conversation going.
Yes, because I think that a lot of us would think, well, is this insulting if I bring in my photo and it's of someone else? But you're very right. Take a photo that they've done and say, I want something along these lines. It's very smart advice. Okay, Sharon emailed, some shampoos are $9.99 and others are $50. Does it really make a difference for me to buy expensive shampoos, or is it all just a hoax?
Okay, no, so there is some truth to it, absolutely. There's a difference. I would say that when it comes to product development and when it comes to raw materials, the more expensive shampoos tend to be, they have a lot more information behind them. So they're great products, but that said, anything is great high and low, right? So my best advice would be to, when you have a real problem, let's just say your hair's bleached out or it's really damaged or something, then focus on spending a little bit more money because you're getting better technology, you're getting something that's gonna really help you with your problem. When it comes to everyday styling, if you can get away with the the cheaper drugstore products, then that's a good option as well.
That's actually a smart way. It's the way we dress. It's the way we do everything. We do high and low.
That's right.
So you sort of cycle it out depending on what you need, right? Okay, this one is from Lisa. I have stick straight hair and my hair never holds a curl. I've heard from a lot of women about this. Any tips on how to make it hold?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like the worst thing ever, right? Like you go to the salon or you do your hair yourself and it takes forever and you go out and it just like drops.
It's gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So gone are the days where you take hairspray and you spray every section and you take the hot iron because that's like really damaging on the hair. It's also, it looks a little too crunchy, so we're not doing that.
It's crunchy. You don't want crunchy.
No. Best thing to do, what I do is I'll load up the roots with some mousse and then I'll take a salt spray. What you're trying to do is you're trying to break away from that smooth, silky hair and you're trying to give it some texture, some roughness. So salt spray, it's a product that you spray through at the ends, and it kind of emulates when you're by a beach. You know that kind of grittiness that you see, that you feel in the hair after you go to a beach. Spray that throughout, rough dry the hair. Don't blow dry it smooth because you'll collapse the hair. Use your texture and then curling iron it with like a 1-inch curling iron, something smaller. Okay. And then as opposed to brushing it out, just like shake out your hair afterwards.
Yes, because the brushing out, you'll take out the curl as well.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say, get a perm.
I can get a perm.
Get a perm?
I can get a perm.
Does anyone get a perm?
People ask for perms. Yes, they do happen. I don't know how to perm, but you can go somewhere.
You can get a perm.
Yes.
Okay, they still happen. From Vanessa on Facebook, it's starting to get colder, and I know that my hair always ends up going staticky. Any tips on how to handle that?
Okay, so static happens because it's drier in the air. That's why you don't really get a lot of static in the summer months because it's more humid. Definitely a good moisturizing routine helps. They have products now that you can spray in. They're finishing products. They're like a very, very lightweight oil, and that helps with with static. And also another great tip is to carry around some kind of a fabric softener sheet.
Right.
And just like do a quick little swipe, and that helps kind of
the drier sheets will do it.
It's like an old school trick, but it works.
Sam says, my hairstylist is the owner of the salon, and I never know if I should tip him or not. Oh, I know the answer to this one. Also, what is the proper amount to tip someone? Right. Shouldn't you always tip?
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. It is a gratuity. I think a lot of people get it confused. It's a myth that you're not supposed to tip the owner. Yeah. At the end of the day, probably the owners, what they make is probably going to pay for the hydro, the electricity, you know, the business stuff. A gratuity is something that you offer somebody because you like their work, and so you love the hairdresser, and that's what you do. Best advice to say is go in, do 18 to 20% at the front. You know, go to your cash where you're checking out, and then have them divvy it up. You know, have them divvy up between the shampoo person, the colorist, whoever, and so that way there it takes it off of you. But you absolutely still should be tipping the owner of the salon.
So you don't have to go around and give everyone a cash tip.
I know
that seems a little extreme.
It's also very awkward for people, right? They don't know what to do. So just leave it in the hands.
10s for you, 20s for you, like this. all over the salon. So 18 to 20, and you're kind of covered.
Yeah.
Very good advice. Thank you, Jay.